the very first Wellness Wednesday with Project Ebenezer. Every Wednesday, we're going to have honest conversations about first responder mental health, what the job does to the brain, the nervous system, and the people behind the uniform. This series is called Wellness Wednesday Beyond the Uniform because first responders are more than their role. They're more than their calls, and they're more than what they carry for others. First responders are exposed to trauma at rates far higher than the general public. Over time, that exposure can change how their brain functions, how their body responds to stress, and how someone experiences the world, even after the long shift ends. That doesn't mean that someone is weak. It means that the job is heavy. This series is about education, normalization, and hope. It's for first responders, for the people who love them, and for the community that depend on them. Episode 1 is about the reality of first responder mental health and why struggling is not a personal failure but an occupational reality. Before we go any further, we want to share something powerful. What you're about to hear is a letter from a first responder in our community who reached out for help. They began the process of healing and allowed us to share their story anonymously so that others might know they're not alone. This letter is shared with permission and it reflects the very real, very human side of this work. If you're a first responder watching this, know this. You don't have to be at rock bottom to deserve support. You don't have to have the right words, and you don't have to walk this road alone. Here's their story. A few months ago, I was leaving a therapy appointment when I ran into a man who I have known for a long time. We started talking about some work stuff when he said, "Stop by my office before you head to work." While sitting in his office waiting for the information I requested, I was staring out the window noticing how windy it was. Without thinking too much about it, I started telling him about a sermon I had heard that had a profound impact on me. The sermon was about how God speaks to us. Numerous times in the Bible, it refers to people hearing God speak through the wind blowing. I began telling my friend how this was instrumental a few days prior to us meeting up. I was at therapy because my job and things that have happened to me over the past 5 years have taken a toll on me, my marriage, and my family. Sometime in May, my best friend, who was also a close family member, shot and killed themselves less than a mile from my house in a church parking lot. Fast forward to a few months ago, I was sitting in my work car in a very dark place mentally with an overwhelming urge to end it all. It was very calm out, without a cloud in the sky. I had the means to complete it and was ready to go through with it when a big gust of wind kicked up and brought me out of it. I don't think I would have noticed if I hadn't have heard the sermon the Sunday prior. Now back to my friend's office and sharing this information that was very difficult because in our line of work, we don't talk about those things. I was surprised to hear that I wasn't alone in those thoughts, and he offered me some help, someone to talk to that could help me through what I was experiencing. I met with a therapist that changed a lot of things for me. She did a method called EMDR with me. Long story short, a few sessions later, and I was feeling better than I had in a long time, and that was at no cost to me because of Project Ebenezer. The following May, a year later, I was sitting in a CIT class and was able to talk about helping suicidal individuals without the urge to run out of the room. This was also the first anniversary of my friend's death, where I have not secluded myself and drank the pain away. Friends, this story is not shared to shock or dramatize. It's shared to remind us of something important, that healing is possible. The brain can heal. The nervous system can relearn safety. And asking for help doesn't put a label on you, it opens a door. The first responder didn't stop being strong when they reached out. They protected their life, their family, and their future. At Project Ebenezer, this is why we exist, to remove these barriers, to protect confidentiality, and to connect first responders with trauma-informed care that understands the job. If this resonates with you, if any part of this feels familiar, please hear this. You are not broken. What you're experiencing makes sense given what you've carried. You're having a normal reaction to an abnormal circumstance. When you're ready, whether that's today or someday, we're here to help you take the next step. Thanks for joining us for episode 1, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday for the second part of this series.